This is a story about Paolo the cat. Paolo the cat and the supermarket, to be precise. Paolo lives in fluffy gardens, a wonderful place to live. Our story begins in a house on Fishdench Street. Paolo the cat went to his kitchen for a glass of milk. Cats love milk, even very clever cats. But when he poured, he got one drop and then nothing. "Oh dear," he said, "I'm out of milk." So Paolo decided to go to the shops to buy more. But in town, the shop was closed. "I wonder where the penguin shopkeeper is," said Paolo. Looking around, he saw the penguin baker. He saw the penguin bus driver. And he saw the little penguin postman. Actually, 2 little penguin postmen. "There aren't 2 postmen in fluffy gardens," exclaimed Paolo. Well, today, there were definitely 2 postmen in fluffy gardens. Something very strange was going on. Paolo had to find out more, so he walked up and asked the postman. And the postman. And that's how he learned a secret. A rather big secret. "You see," explained the postman, "we work so hard and so rarely have holidays that every week we switch jobs." "Last week I was the grocer," said the other postman. "And I was the bin man," said the first postman. "A change is as good as a rest and all that," they said together. Well, this week there was a mix-up. There were 2 penguin postmen, but no penguin shopkeeper. "Can't one of you just be the shopkeeper?" suggested Paolo. "He can." "No, he can. I don't want to be the shopkeeper," they shouted. "It's no fun at all." And then they had an idea. "Seeing as you're such a very clever cat, can't you be the shopkeeper?" "Oh, no," said Paolo. "I'm just a regular cat." "You'll be fine," they said, and handed Paolo the keys to the shop. Then they both ran off. And with a big queue standing behind him, all waiting for the shop to open, Paolo the cat had no choice. He opened the shop and stood behind the counter, ready to serve his customers. But when Colleen the cow asked him which cheese would make the best cheesecake, and Mr. Johnson the panda asked him where the marmalade was, and then Bill the platypus asked if Paolo had seen his little sailor's hat, Paolo knew he had a problem. You see, Paolo the cat, being clever, knew a lot about some very difficult subjects. But he didn't know what cheese would make the best cheesecake. He didn't know where the marmalade was. And he couldn't find Bill's little sailor's hat anywhere. The queue was getting longer, and Paolo was getting flustered. And the more flustered Paolo got, the more flustered everyone else seemed to get. "The penguins were right," he said. "Being the shopkeeper is no fun at all." He leaned over the counter with tears in his eyes and whispered quietly, "I'm not a shopkeeper. I'm just a regular cat." And then he heard a cute squeak.
"You're not just a regular cat. You're a very clever cat."
It was the small green thing. And he was right. Paolo realized that the clever thing to do would be to get help. "Would you help me?" asked Paolo.
"I'm too small to help.
Squeaked the small green thing.
What can I do?
Paolo smiled. You can smile, he said, and you can help people just by being friendly. You've already helped me, he said. The small green thing squeaked happily, and in no time at all, he was showing everyone around the shop. He helped Colleen find the best cheese. He found marmalade for Mr. Johnson. And he even found Bill's little sailor's hat in the cereal aisle. With the small green thing helping around the shop, Paolo was able to serve all the customers at the counter. Even better, he managed to do it with a smile. And the more he smiled, the more everyone else smiled. By the end of the day, Paolo was actually having a lot of fun. So much fun that when the penguins saw just what was happening in the shop, they all wanted to be the shopkeeper next. As Paolo locked up and went home, leaving the penguins to argue amongst themselves, he smiled. It had been a good day. With the help of a friend and a smile, everyone had managed to buy everything they needed. Well, not everyone. Paolo was back in his kitchen when he realized he had forgotten to buy milk. Oh, well, he said to himself, I suppose the penguin milkman will be along in the morning. But as it turned out, in the morning, the milkman was the shopkeeper. And so was the baker, the bus driver, the binman, and 2 postmen.